everyone, it's Tricia. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm going to actually answer a question that someone had about her kitty cat. So I'm going to read that for you right now. Let's see. My question is, how do you set a boundary for your animals, especially cats, without hurting their feelings? My cat is so clingy. As soon as I sit down, she's all over me. When I push her away and say, no, not now, she thinks I'm upset at her. And I literally feel her sadness, and she turns her back on me the rest of the day. I hope I'm not the only one with this problem. Dogs seem to be more forgiving. I think that's so cute. I mean, I'm sorry that it's a bit of a conundrum, but it's really sweet how much she wants to love on you. And so first of all, no, you are not alone on this. As a matter of fact, I have very affectionate kitty cats as well. And one in particular is named Delilah. And when she's ready for affection, she lets you know about it. And what she does is actually really inconvenient. She will like walk all the way down the hallway, or she'll go sit in this one particular part in the house and she'll just start wailing. She'll just start crying, like just crying and crying and crying. And nothing can satisfy her except for you going and sitting with her in the designated spot that she has created. And the thing is, she doesn't, because of just her own comfort level, and you know, she's actually an ex-feral kitty, she won't just come up on the couch and snuggle you like your kitty is, the person who asked the question. So it could be worse. She'll do this while I'm working, she'll do this while we're eating, while I'm making dinner. So you know, I wish I had your problem a little bit, that she just wanted to sit on me. But the thing is, when Delilah gets to that place, it's almost like her body is activated and she so much needs affection that she can't be comfortable with herself. So it's kind of like, well, you know when a little kid, like a toddler, throws a fit and then they're crying and crying and then they get really upset because they're upset, and I think that they probably even get headaches, and it just sort of like builds this momentum. Well, it's kind of like that. Do not read that I'm calling anyone's cat a brat. I'm just saying that, like for Delilah in particular, she isn't really capable of asking. Sorry, a message came through. Delilah isn't really capable of asking me for affection throughout the day, or at least getting my attention in a more obvious way, whereas my other two cats will just come sit on me, you know. And so if I'm working and my energy isn't open to her, I'm not paying attention, she's not really able to subtly give it to me, just because that's what she's comfortable with. So now I don't know if that's the case with your kitty cat. By the way, she told me her kitty cat's name is Wanda. So I don't know if that's Wanda's issue. And I'm actually answering this question sort of globally rather than tuning into Wanda's energy through the email. But I'm going to see, maybe that'll come through as well. So that's one thing, is that you may have to, if she's already at that point where she just really, really needs affection because her body and her nervous system is so activated and so jonesing for it, you may actually just have to spend a little time, because nothing else is really going to make her feel better about it. And so another way that I thought about answering this question is just I think the first way, I'm basically telling you may have to give in a little bit and just kind of scratch her down really well. And then I guess I'm just offering another perspective of a similar thing, because sometimes when Delilah is doing that with me, when she's calling out for me to pay attention to her, and if I just give into it and expect that there's a reason for it, then sometimes really wonderful things will happen. So I remember one time I was actually writing, it's actually a children's book about animals with my friend. We co-write these children's books. And I was writing this basically like a poem. And so Delilah was doing her thing, crying and crying. And so I would just take a break and go give her a couple of scratches and then come back and another stanza would come out. And the reason this is something that could be a helpful way to look at it sometimes is because animals are open vessels for divine. And what I mean by that is, as I discuss in some other videos, they're actually really close to Gaia energy, which is closer to the energetic signature of Source or of the Creator. And so basically animals have this sort of more divine perspective. They are closer to divine. So they're actually just willing to be utilized by divine all the time. It's sort of their basic kind of operation. And by the way, all of us, we who are spiritual seekers and developing our spirituality and raising our vibration, we are as well. And what that means is that we aren't necessarily always aware that we're doing that. We could send someone a message at exactly the right time, even if it's about nothing to do with whatever they needed support on. We're utilized in these ways all the time. And so our animals are utilized that way too. So I would say maybe sometimes see if there's actually wisdom there, that it could be actually a kind of oracle that Wanda is actually being for you at that time, just to see how she might be helping you. And then also, they are consciously our healers as well, our animals are. So again, pay attention to your energy at that time. There could be a chance that you're worrying or feeling uncomfortable about something, and so she's just responding to that, and she actually wants to help you transmute that energy. Finally, I was going to see if I could feel into Sweet Wanda a little bit. And so, okay, so this is what I'm getting. Wanda is actually, I mean, she's, like you said, clingy. She is a very, I don't remember if you told me her age in a subsequent message, but I get a very sweet kind of youthful energy about her. And she's not actually a young soul. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's almost like if you've ever met an older lady who was just as sweet as a 5-year-old, yet wise at the same time. That's what I'm feeling about Wanda. And so she wants to work with you. She actually wants to soften you a little bit. And that's not to say that you're hard or anything like that, but there's something about her wanting, that's just her perspective. She wants to soften you. She's a very, very soft kind of natured personality. And so she thinks that, in her opinion, you could use a little of that softness too. And she just adores you so much that she actually just kind of can't understand why you wouldn't want to just be, hip to hip all the time. And so that's what I'm getting about her. I think that this is a matter of meeting halfway. That's what I have to do with my Delilah. I have to meet her halfway. I have to look at those perspectives. It obviously doesn't get, it isn't helpful to get frustrated with her. I know that, so I just don't. So I maybe entertain the idea of her being my oracle at that time. I entertain the idea that she's just trying to energy heal me. And by the way, if she is doing that, they're just asking questions. So if you notice in your energy, if that's one of the times where you're like, okay, so what's going on with me? Okay, I am feeling a little frustrated. You can actually just talk to her then. Say, listen, sweetie, I understand that you're feeling this discomfort in me right now, and I appreciate it, and I love you, but I'm taking care of it, I promise, and I'm going to take care of it right now. And then maybe she can relax a little bit, maybe give her a couple of strokes. And then if it is the other perspective that she is just being, she is so angsty because she's missed you all day and she literally needs the physical touch, then you just might need to go ahead and give yourself 10 minutes and just like really scratch on her for a little while. I hope that helped. But so far as you said, like setting boundaries, I don't know if that's something that they really see. They don't see any boundaries between us because they're really like extensions of our body. But what you can do is give her that comfort that you are taking care of it, that you are aware of whatever, if it is something like she wants to help you with the particular energy to transmute some energy, just let her know you're aware of it and that you're going to take care of it. And you're just going to have to compromise somehow. I have a practical tip too. So we also have sort of this issue with Franzi, who, if you've watched any of my other videos, you may have met him before because he loves being on video. He actually has 11 million views on his other channel, and his kitty channel, because he's the best kitty hug ever, hugger. Look it up. Anyway, Franzi is Brian's best friend, my husband. They are best friends, and so Franzi will cry and cry and cry for Brian when he's working, and he'll be on deadline and not now, and so what Brian does for Franzi when he can't do any of the other tips that I'm giving you about, meeting them halfway, is he gives him something else that he likes. So for example, for us, I don't know if this is going to help you, maybe Wanda has something like this that you can think of that she really wants to do, but she doesn't always get to do, something new and interesting. It's kind of just like diverting their attention. Franzi isn't actually allowed in our bedroom most of the day because Well, the birds are in there, and so they like get their own space. But if Franzi is like just like insatiable and really needs Brian's attention while he's working, then we open up our bedroom door and we put our birdies in another room, and then they just want to be in there because it's all new. And actually, it kind of satisfies that same itch that he's wanting to be with Brian, because they get to be on his bed. And they get to, be in that room where we normally are. Like when we sleep, most of you probably sleep with your animals, and our animals sleep in another room so that we can actually sleep, because the cats are babies and they run all around, and they actually really like it. I like having that too, having them in a place where I know where they are in case there's a fire. I know where to go get them. But so our cats actually don't sleep with us, and our animals, typically when they do get to sleep with us, they actually do a lot of that energy healing on us. They work on our bodies, they use their own body to transmute energy and to help us to move through that. So our cats don't actually get to do that for us when we're sleeping. So when they get the opportunity to be in our room, then he's smelling, where Brian lays his head, and then he's actually, that bed actually does get the deposit of the energy that we are moving through at night. And so he actually feels like he gets to help transmute that and do some of the work that he wants to do in the first place. And actually, just another note, that the reason that our animals really need us, the reason they don't see boundaries between us, and the reason they really need us to be well and work so much to help to heal us energetically and emotionally and all of that, is because they need us to, because we keep them alive. So that's how, you know what I mean? Like, we're physically in charge of them. So they're naturally just very intuitive, and they move on the energetic planes, and they're telepathic and all of that kind of stuff. So it, again, is like for them, we are an extension of their body, or they're an extension of ours, because we keep them well. These animals that we bring into our homes, we feed them, we exercise them, we take them to the vet, we give them all of the affection. So, they need for us to be well, and that's why they're very eager to work with us in that way. Well, I hope this was helpful to you, the person who wrote in, and to Wanda, and to anybody else who's watching. Please do comment, like, share. Let me know if you have any more questions about animals, or anything else in the intuitive realm, or about mediumship, or about angels and ETs and elementals like fairies and gnomes. I'll be putting up some videos about gnomes and fairies and sprites and leprechauns and sylphs and dragons and unicorns. How's that sound? Okay, I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.